So can you talk about what it was like to just join this iconic franchise of the Scooby-Doo gang and voicing a character?
Well, first of all, you don't meet anyone else. So it's a weird thing when you make animated movies. I saw the cast list. I'm like, oh God, look who's in it. All these people. I'm dying to meet them. And Tracy Morgan and Mark Wahlberg and Amanda, who I've worked with before, all these people, and Zac Efron. No, I never met them. I went to a booth by myself with the brilliant Tony Savoni and Pam Coates, the producer. And Tony gets in the booth with you and he just pushes you and just makes you go further, go nuts, do something stupid, say ridiculous things. And he just pushed me and the other actors to go further and further until you make him laugh. He was playing all the other parts. And if you make him laugh, that's going to be in the movie. Or rather, that take won't be in the movie because you made him laugh and then that was recorded. But so it was enormously good fun, but kind of weird and lonely. And the thing I was really looking forward to is when we got to go to all the premieres and do all the publicity. And here I am in my bedroom.
It's a weird situation. And so you've had a little bit of experience with voice acting characters, like you've done Ra's al Ghul in the Batman stuff. So can you just talk about like what's the main difference between like that process and going to and doing this type of process, a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun, but you're still voicing an antagonist?
Oh wow. So I was in Star Wars Rebels, the Inquisitor. I was in Avatar as the Admiral Zhao. I've done a bunch of these guys before. They're pretty not these guys. Don't mean to be generic. I've played antagonists before. They were quite serious in serious things. This is hilarious. I mean, this is a feel-good movie. It's a big emotional roller coaster of a movie. It's one of those things you can watch with your kids and with your parents, so generations can sit together. There's more adult jokes, and there are visual humor for the toddlers, and the challenge or the gag was to have as good a time as possible. And that's Tony was there to have a great time making it. He'd be in the booth with me, and I know with the other actors, just trying to make them laugh, and you're trying to make him laugh. So it's night and day. Making other things. Acting is a funny old job. You just have to pretend to be someone in a different situation, even if it's a supervillain, narcissistic, egomaniacal inventor who's trying to conquer the world and go to hell. You still have to try and imagine that you're that person. But this, Tony was in there just tweaking it and going, go over the top, go further. Whatever you think is ridiculous, do that and jump over it and go, leap for the sky. So they don't compare. This was easily the most fun voice work I've ever done.
Oh wow, I'm glad to hear that. So like you've dabbled in a bunch of different genres, and like you said, you've done a little bit of comic book stuff. And since we are geeks of color, and since there's been a little bit of superheroes woven into the Scooby-Doo story, I don't want to spoil anything. But can you
Sure.
would you like to potentially dive into a live action DC role in the future? Like,
oh God, yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I did Superman Under the Red Sun, which I presume comes under your ambit, and these are pretty tricky and challenging days. And there's nothing more valuable than sitting down with people that you love and escaping and having a couple of hours where we just take the weight off all of our shoulders, because we're all carrying it all the time. And you get to do that most in worlds of fantasy and, comic books and superhero films. I don't know why those films have been so big for the last 10 or 15 years, because now we're dealing with a real emergency. This is the time we need to escape. So yeah, I'd love to be in one of those live action things. But remember, I was in the Harry Potter films. They weren't exactly superhero films, but there was a little bit of magic floating around.
There was. Well, thank you so much, Jason. And I also want to just say I was a big fan of the OA, and I'm so sad that it didn't get its final season. But I'm glad more people are getting to revisit it now that they're stuck at home.
A lot of people are watching it in lockdown and realizing just what a work of utter beauty and genius it is. They're two of the most extraordinary talented people I've ever met, Zal and Britt. And I can't wait to see what they do next. And if I'm not in it, I know where they live.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Jason. I hope you have a great rest of your day, sir.
It's great to meet you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.